So this is how I make my sushi rice. It's very simple, just need some good quality. I have here premium grain rice. You can usually find it just called sushi rice. As long as it's not long grain, you're pretty much good to go. Got about 1.5 cups of it right here. Just over 1.5 cups of water. Nice big wooden bowl if you got one. These little spatulas for rice are fantastic. They do not cut the grains. And then, of course, nice stainless pot with a good lid, a tight fitting lid, very important. And of course, what makes the sushi vinegar, sushi rice is the sushi vinegar. This is just the easy way. It's the rice vinegar dressing. You can make your own if you have just plain rice vinegar. You just add a little bit of white sugar and salt. I normally just microwave it for a couple seconds and get it warm so that everything dissolves. And you want it a little bit sweet, a little bit salty, nice and tangy. Just kind of do it to your taste. This stuff is really easy to work with. The rice vinegar dressing, that's basically all it is. Just rice vinegar, where is it at? Rice vinegar, sugar, water, salt. That's exactly what it is. So, first thing we're going to do is rinse out the rice. I just use this pot right here. So we're going to wash the rice at least until the water comes out clear. It's going to remove a lot of the excess starch from the rice. And then we're actually going to make the rice sticky again by adding that sugar and water. So I just fill it with a little bit of water just so it covers all the rice. Give it a nice little massage. I'm going to do this at least 3 times, if not 4 or 5, depending on how starchy the rice is. This stuff's actually pretty starchy, so I'll probably end up rinsing it until the water comes clear. It'll take 5 rinses or so. Between each of the washings, it's good to drain the rice so you're not just going nowhere fast. I just use this little splash guard, put it on top, and I'll turn it over and dump out the starchy water and go from there. Alright, now our water is clear, not cloudy. This is, I think, rinse number 4 or 5. And I'm just going to drain it very thoroughly, and we'll go on to the next step. Alright, next step is pretty straightforward. I'm going to turn my heat on, about medium-high. Add all my water. Now, a lot of people make way better sushi rice than I do, but I found this to be the quickest, easiest, and tastiest version that I can make. Some people let the rice soak for a minimum of an hour, or whatever you end up doing is what you end up doing, but this recipe works really easy. It only takes 20 minutes and turns out pretty good almost every time. You'll mess it up once or twice and you'll learn from the process. It's all part of the fun. Alright, so now we're on medium-high. It's going to take about 5-6 minutes for it to come up to heat. Right before it starts simmering, you'll start seeing it steam and whatnot. I'm going to give it just one good stir, making sure to scrape the bottom of the pot here. The whole point of that is just to make sure that the rice keeps from sticking. One reason it's good to use one of these rounded wooden spoons is to keep from breaking the grains. The more grains you break, the more starchy your rice will be. You don't want starchy rice. You want sticky rice. 2 different things. Once this comes up to that bare simmer, I'm going to reduce it to low, very low. Cover it and don't touch it until the water is all evaporated. With 1.5 cups, it's usually about 7 to 8 minutes, and then I'll pull it off the heat and let it steam. Alright, I'm just starting to see it steam and simmer just a hair. So again, just going to do one sweeping, try to get all corners of this pot all done well. As little stirring as possible. I want to disturb the rice very minimally. Alright, you can see it's beginning to simmer. So I'm going to turn it down to very low, just low, 1 on the scale. Cover it up. Now that it's covered, I'm going to just wait about 7 or 8 minutes. And listen, honestly, it's kind of a feel thing. If you listen for it, you'll stop hearing the little simmering going on, and you'll start smelling the cooked rice. If you wait too long, you'll burn it, so it's okay to err on the side of caution on this one. You can see there's a little wisp of steam popping up. But the more you do this, the better you'll get at it. So, let's see how this one's. Alright, so I've stopped hearing the boiling and bubbling. I did a quick peek. I'm not going to do it again though. Quick peek to see that all the water had been absorbed, and it seems like it has, so I'll turn it off and remove it from the heat. And let that sit for at least another 10 minutes. Alright, here we go. Sushi rice. Well, it's going to be sushi rice shortly. Go ahead and toss it in here. You see it's all fully cooked, not sticking to the bottom. It's a little chunky right now, but we're going to break it all apart and mix it together. So, again, we want to do as little damage to the grains as possible, so we're going to slide our knife in and just kind of cut it like you're cutting into a cake batter. And here's that sushi vinegar, which is again just the rice vinegar, salt, and sugar. Got about a 1/4 cup of it. Just kind of drizzle it over. You can even do it fancy like the sushi restaurants do. And just cut. You see I'm spinning the bowl. Makes it pretty easy to do. You see how we're getting big lumps? Trying to cut those up to smaller individual grains of rice. The whole point of this whole thing is to coat each individual grain of rice with a mixture. And while it's still warm, this goes very nicely. If you try to do it on cold rice, it does not work. So, still nice and hot. It's starting to get a little sticky. And the way to really set that off is actually to cool it down. Now, the traditional way is to get a little fan and fan it, but this is America. I'm using my wife's hair dryer with a setting for just air. I just press the little button right there and it just blows cool air. So it makes this go a lot faster. Might look a little silly, but it works wonders and saves your wrist from carpal tunnel from trying to just fan it. I'm sure I'll get frowned upon by a million people online, but hey, it isn't stupid if it works. So mix it up a little bit, and then really sticky now. I think we're almost done. Just gonna clean off that spoon, finish mixing it up, give it one more blow. This time we're gonna try to spread it out as much as possible, get that surface area up. We have sushi rice. Thing with working with sushi rice is it's sticky, so it'll stick really easy to everything. So do, I actually put a little bit of water inside the pot, and I'm going to use that to dampen my hands. I'm not going to get them dripping wet, but just enough to be able to pick up with your hands and that it doesn't stick. So if you want to make your nigiri, you just make a little ball and it sticks together nicely. You can even just make anything you want. Sushi rolls, rice, wraps. It's sushi rice. Some people put in sesame seeds, furikake, anything. This is just the base, and holds up really well. Hope you enjoy. Almost forgot one last thing. If you're going to keep it for any amount of time, ideally you'd use it while it's still warm. Body temperature sushi rice, room temperature fish is the ideal. However, I'm going to be doing a dinner in a little bit, so I want to keep it nice and moist and in good condition. So what I do, moisten a paper towel. Moist paper towel. Try to pat it down. Cover it up with a tight fitting lid. It's just a bowl I have. And I'm just going to put it in the microwave for about an hour just to hide out at room temperature. Do not put it in the fridge. If you put it in the fridge, basically you now have rice to make fried rice with. So I just keep it stashed in my microwave so nobody eats it. It's a good place to hide it.